Hi, welcome yogis. So today's class we're going to be again focusing on balancing and also about the integration with your center, with your core as we come into these balancing poses. Hopefully you've done the class yesterday. I did quite a lot on the foot placement in the balancing poses. So if you haven't done yesterday's class, maybe just go back and check it out and just get the grounding down through the feet and those four points, so big toe mound, little toe mound, and either side of the heel. That will help you to stabilize and set your foundation. And then we bring the awareness up the body, up through the legs, the energy in the legs, and then into your center. So we'll do a little bit more on that today. Also, I've got, so if you've got a block, you can use that. Otherwise, we're going to use something, a container of some sort that's about that shape. And we'll be using it in between the leg. I'll just show you the movement. So in between the thigh and your elbow. So something that you can hold there. I'm thinking container. I was trying to think of other things that you could use. So maybe if you do think of other things you can use, maybe write them down to me. Just if you don't have a block, it'll be good just to have some other ideas on hand. So let's get started. We'll just sit in a comfortable seated position. So you can sit on your shins, on a blanket or on a towel, or you can sit cross-legged, or even a chair. A chair is always a good option. And we'll just start to just bring your awareness to your breath and to your center. Okay, so begin with by just placing your hands on your lap. Feel your sit bones grounding down. So you maybe just need to move from side to side, or in my case, it'll be my legs. So whatever is connecting to the ground. And then you want to just feel like you're rising up. So as though the waist, the ribcage are lifting up out of the pelvis, creating a long spine, lifting up through the crown of your head. And then you're going to take your hands around your ribcage. So fingers forward, thumbs towards the back, and then just breathing into your hands. So as you breathe in, your the air goes down into the lungs, so it's basically a partial vacuum and it's sucking the air in. And as that happens, then the diaphragm starts to contract and drop down and expand out. So what we're wanting to feel here is an expansion in the sides of the body, in through the front of the body. Now as you exhale, you're going to tone your navel. So drawing your navel in, just pushing the breath out, and feel your spine lengthen, so all the way up through the crown of your head. And again, just breathing in. Just breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. And feel that expansion on the in-breath. So ribcage expanding out, maybe gently lifting up. And then as you exhale, there's a hugging in, navel draws in towards your spine, and feel your spine lengthen. Let's do it one more time. So just take a nice deep breath in. And exhale. And then just release your hands. You can take your hands together at your heart center. Just set your intention for the practice or for your day. We're going to come to a place of gratitude first. Just being thankful for all that has got you here today. And then you set the intention. Okay, and then just release your hands. Come down onto your back. So we're going to do a little bit more of that progressive contraction. So really starting to bring that awareness to your center. Just have your block or your container of sorts nearby. So let's start with the gentle pelvic tilts. So hands onto your hip points. So as we do this one, I want you to become aware of the way your pelvis moves. So it moves back and then forward. So there's this tipping forward and tipping back. And notice how this just goes into the abdomen, the lower back as well. So when we're doing the stabilizing, especially in standing poses, you want to keep the pelvis so it's not tipping forward and tipping back. So we're going to start to bring the awareness to that. But let's start off with just gentle arching and curls. So feel the base of your skull on your mat, spine is long. You can take a nice deep breath in. Again, as you breathe in, you want to feel that expansion through the rib cage, through the abdomen, creating a gentle arch here. So you're arching up the lower back. And then exhale the breath. So navel draws in. Feel your spine, your lower back draw down towards the ground, and you feel your spine lengthen, so you probably notice your head moving as well. And then again, just arching up, creating that lift. And then exhale the breath, hip points, are gently drawing back, so your pelvis is moving back into a posterior tilt. And then as you breathe in, expanding, so lifting the navel up towards the ceiling, you feel your hip points moving forward towards your thighs, pelvis is moving into an anterior tilt. So let's just do that one more time. So exhale the breath, and then come back to a neutral position. Okay, now we're going to start to do the breathing with a progressive core contraction, and you want it to be progressive, so from your pubic bone toward your navel, and you can just like as though you're bending one finger in at a time, so it slowly contracts up and then releases one finger at a time back down, just from navel towards your pubic bone. Okay, so we're going to do it without the tilting or the rocking of the pelvis forward and back. So stabilize, so again, hands onto your hip points, so you can notice if your hips pelvis are moving. Okay, and now you're going to again breathe in. So as you breathe in, there's still that expansion through the rib cage, through the top of the abdomen. And then as you exhale, you're going to contract. So feel like you're zipping up jeans, but without dropping the lower back down to the ground. Zipping up, feel your center turn on, and then as you breathe in, feel it release from your navel to your pubic bone. And then again, exhale the breath, navel draws in, feel like you're zipping up, so you feel your center start to activate, and then release, breathing in. Exhale, contract, so zipping up, and then release, breathing in. Let's do it one more full round. So exhale the breath, contract, and then release. Just pause for a moment. And then we're going to bring more awareness to the area. So you'll take your hands onto the fronts of your thighs and legs to about a tabletop position. So knees about in line with your hips and shins parallel to your ceiling. Feel again the base of your skull on your mat, so not tipping your head back. Okay, again we're going to contract. Pay attention to whether you feel your lower back drawing down towards the ground, or see if you can stabilize, keeping that pelvis more at a neutral position. Okay, so we'll begin by just taking a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, push your hands and thighs in towards each other. As you do that, you're going to feel the contraction through your center. Now continue to breathe as we hold. So when you're going to be in the standing and tree pose, when you're balancing, you're contracting. You need that support, that stabilization. But you still also need to be able to breathe. So keep breathing here. Feeling that contraction. It's an isometric contraction, so you're essentially moving without moving. And then slowly release. And you may like to just give your knees a hug. We'll do it again. So again, take your legs to a tabletop position. Hands against your thighs. Then you just push, or just first of all start with the breath in. And then as you exhale, hands and thighs push in towards each other and feel that progressive contraction from your pubic bone towards your navel turning on. And then breathing. And you'll probably notice that the breathing is a little bit restricted because you do have these lower core muscles turned on. So just holding here, continuing to breathe in and breathe out. So looking for that connectivity, that stabilization. Just take another full round of breath. Exhale your breath. And then inhale, release. And again, just give your knees a hug. And then you may like to just windshield wipe your legs. So just take your hands onto your abdomen. Feet wide. And then take your knees down to the right. Sweep your hands around to the left. So just gently massaging through the abdominal area. Again, knees to center. And then knees towards the left. Hands towards the right. So just moving with your breath. So breathing in as you exhale. You're taking that gentle rotation. Just take it to where it feels comfortable for you. Okay, again through center. One more time. Okay. Come back. Just walking your feet towards each other. Okay, now you're going to take your container, or if you've got a block, you can use a block. Okay, let's take it in between the the left thigh and your left elbow. And from here, you're probably already starting to feel muscles engage just by trying to hold the block in place or your container. Okay, now we're going to extend out through your right leg, right arm. Okay, so as we do this movement again, pay attention to your center, and you want to move the limbs from your center. So we'll take a breath in. Again, there's that expansion. As you exhale the breath, you're going to start your contraction and then move your limbs. So pay attention to the breath. Stay connected with the breath as you do this. Okay, and again, notice if you're really pushing down to your lower back, seeing if you can stabilize through the center. Okay, so you're going to take a nice deep breath in, extending out through your limbs, and then as you exhale, hug your elbow and right thigh towards each other. And then again, breathe in, start the exhalation, contract, and then elbow and thigh towards each other. Let's do it another 3-4 rounds. So contract, squeezing in, and then take it long. Again, take a nice deep breath in, and then hugging in. One more time. And exhale, contract, squeeze, and then release. And then just bending your knee, releasing the block. Just take a couple of breaths here, just pausing and notice what you notice. And then we'll switch over. So the block or your container just against your right thigh. Oops, and a right elbow. Okay. So again, this may be enough for you, and if this is enough, just stay here. We may like to just extend out through the opposite side. Okay, so again, you're going to just breathe in and then breathe out, contract, hugging that knee and thigh towards each other, hovering the legs as you extend them out, and then drawing them in. Let's take another 3, squeezing, and then extending, 2 to go. So give it a squeeze. You can breathe and lengthen, start the contraction, and then squeeze. Okay, bend your knee, release your arm, just remove your prop off to the side. And then you may like to just give your knees a hug, and you can just circle your knees in one direction and then the other. Okay. So when you're ready, you're going to make your way up to a seated position. So you can rock and roll up or take your legs long and push up. And then we'll come all the way up and over. Okay, so let's come into a plank pose. So just curling your toes under, lifting, hovering your knees above the ground. Feel your center turn on. Get strong and steady through your arms, through those shoulders. And then you may like to take it to a full plank, so reaching your legs out long. Notice if you're dipping the hips down here. So this is now again where you need to zip up. So zip up. Pushing down into your hands, lifting those hips up. Just breathing here and holding. You can come down to your knees if you need to. Just take another full deep breath in. And then breathe out. And then just release your knees down to the ground. Just come back into a child's pose. So you can take your arms long or your arms alongside you. Okay, so when you're ready, you're going to start to, we'll bring the arms alongside and start to lift up, sternum lifting, and then you're going to start to rise up. Now we'll lead with the sternum as you rise up, turn your palms to face up, and then reach all the way up towards the ceiling. Okay, as you start to come down, your arms will come down, turning your palms face down, and then you're going to start that progressive contraction as you take your hips back towards your heels. So contracting, and then again leading with the sternum, rising up. And then releasing back down, again hips draw back, and just feel that contraction through your center as you come back down. Let's do it in there again. So lead with the sternum, reaching forward and then rising up. And then releasing back down. Exhale the breath, contract, and hips towards your heels. Just pausing here. Okay, and then place your hands down onto the ground. Lift your head up, chest up. And then again, we'll just curl the toes under. Just getting a bit of a stretch for the soles of your feet. So you can keep your hands forward or walk your hands towards your knees, maybe even lifting your torso up. Just come to a place that does feel comfortable for you. Just starting to bring awareness to your feet. Okay, and then just release your hands down, just tap your feet out. Okay, and then just circling your feet just in one direction. Working around the ankle and then the other direction. Okay, now walk your hands towards your knees. You're going to push into the ground, lift your knees up and then lift your hips up. Take your hands underneath your heart center, sit bones draw back, and then push into your feet and rise all the way up to standing. Release your arms down. Okay, and then just step forward to the front of your mat. Okay, let's just go into a sun salutation. We're going to focus on just opening up the hips. Okay, so take a nice deep breath in, reaching your arms up, lifting up. As you exhale, sit bones draw back, bending at the knees, and hinge all the way down to the ground. So rise up, lift your chest, lengthen your spine. And plant your hands and step your right foot and left foot back to downward facing dog. So bending your knees as much as you need to in your downward facing dog, and then maybe starting to lengthen the legs. Just breathing here. Exhale the breath, and then on your next inhale, you're going to lift your right leg up towards the back of the room. Keep your toes pointing down so you're not rotating and shifting the pelvis out. Okay, then hug your thigh in towards your chest. You're going to ripple your shoulders forward, so you're looking in between your hands, and then step your foot forward. So you push into your hands, create some space, and then bring the foot forward. If it doesn't come all the way forward, take your hand behind your ankle and then pull it forward. Okay, lower your back knee down to the ground. We'll just take a breath in and rise all the way up. Just lift up, create that space, that opening. And then exhale, plant your hands down. Okay, keep your left hand down. Now you're going to walk your right foot just off to the right, hand onto your thigh, and just gently opening out just into the inner thigh area. Keep your spine long, and there's a gentle twist here. So you lengthen the torso, and then as you exhale, slightly rotate. You can even come onto the outer edge of your foot if that feels good. Just take a couple of breaths here. And then bring your knee back to center, just walking, heel toe your foot back, and then step back to your downward facing dog. So just pausing in the downward facing dog. Oh dear, I've just lost the microphone. Okay, so just bending your knees, you're going to slowly start to take your gaze forward and then step towards the front of your mat. And then take a breath in, lift your chest up, lengthen your spine, sit bones draw back. And then exhale to fold. And then take your arms out to the side again. Lead with your sternum as you rise all the way up. Chin your arms up. And then exhale to release down. Let's do that again. I'm just going to fix the microphone. Okay, so again, take a nice deep breath in, reaching up. Slowly exhale the breath as you fold all the way down to the ground. Inhale, lift your chest, lengthen your spine. And then as you exhale, plant your hands down and step your left foot and right foot back to downward facing dog. So again, bending your knees here, lifting the sit bones up, lengthen through the spine. And then you can slowly start to lengthen your legs. Another full round of breath. And then as you breathe in, lift your left leg up towards the back of the room. Again, keep your toes pointing down. And then hug your thigh in towards your chest, ripple your body forward, and then step your foot forward. Okay, and lower your back knee down. Nice deep breath in, rising up. And then exhale, plant your hands down. You're going to keep your right hand down and then just heel toe your left foot off to the side. And this may be just enough for you here. or you maybe even come onto the outer edge of your foot. Take a nice deep breath in, lengthen all the way out through the crown of the head, and then as you exhale, you slowly rotate, rotating from the right rib around towards the left. And then gently come back to center, just heel toe your foot, and then push into your hands, step back to your downward facing dog. Again, find that length all the way through the hands, through the arms, legs waist. And then maybe starting to lengthen your legs if that feels good. Take another full round of breath. Exhale your breath completely. And then lift your heels, bend your knees, and then take a step towards the front of your mat, as many steps as you need. Inhale, lift your chest. And then folding all the way forward, exhale long and slow. And push into your feet, root to rise as you lead with the chest, rise all the way up. And then release your arms down. Okay, let's come to, you can stay standing at the front of your mat, I'll just come to the side. So yesterday we worked on working through the compass points with balancing on one leg. We're going to do that again, and I just want to add an option. If you found that one quite easy and you found your balance was great, then you may like to try it with your arm. So if you're going to do it with the arm, I'll just show it to you, and then I'll just do the foot one. Okay, so your balance on, we'll start with the right foot, and instead of taking your foot forward, you're going to reach your arm forward. So we're reaching your arm forward, and you're going through those points of a compass, so reaching out to the diagonal, out to the side, tapping towards the ground, and then taking your arm behind you and just finding that balance. So you're working around the whole sole of your foot, out through the leg, and then you would do the same with the other arm, and then you'll do switching the legs over. But for today's class, we'll just do the leg once again. But that's just something you can work towards, and I will do an actual class on that as well. Okay, so let's just find that balance. So remember those four corners of the feet. Stabilize, and you can take your hands onto your hips and then just start to lift your left leg up. And so you're going to take your leg out in front of you and then out on the corner, the diagonal, just bending your knee. You can keep it straight or bend, take it out to the side, again back corner, right behind you, and then bring it forward and across. You're going to take it all the way across the leg out to the side, and then let's come behind. Okay, and just hold there. Just seeing if you can balance that one leg. Just notice any wobbling. And then switch. Just walk it out. Okay, and then let's move to the other leg. Okay, so again, find the connection between the ground and your foot. Feel like you're pushing down into the foot to create the energy up through the leg, so you're really strong, and again you'll zip up. Okay, find your balance. So lifting up, and don't worry if you're wobbling around, that helps to create that strength in the ankle and the leg. Okay, let's go. So taking your right leg long, again you can bend into it, and then you take it out to the corner, bring it back to center, off to the side, and then the back corner. We'll take it behind us. And then you're working your way around those 8 points of a compass. So then cross the leg, noticing any areas that you do find difficult. You may be feeling a bit more off balance. And then come back to center, and we'll hold here. Okay, just breathing into the balance. Okay, and then slowly release your leg, just walk it out. Okay, now let's move into chair pose. Okay, so again you're going to find those four corners of your right foot, pushing down into them. Now feel the energy moving up the leg. Again, you're going to zip up. Before you lift the leg, just find a single point that you can focus on. It will help the mind to settle. Okay, and then you can start to turn your left leg out to the side. So it's an external rotation. Okay, and then you can bring your foot against your leg. You can keep your toes down on the ground if you need a little bit of help with balance. Okay, maybe bringing the leg up. And just take it to a place that feels comfortable for you. And then remembering this is the midline, so you're going to be hugging everything into your center. So foot and leg hugging towards each other. Again, zip up as though you're zipping up jeans. Remember, we're not tilting the pelvis forwards or back. And then you can take your hands together at your heart center. Just breathing here. Just focusing your gaze on something stationary just in front of you, maybe a few feet on the ground or directly in front of you. Just find your balance. Just breathing here. Remember that we're toning our center but continuing to breathe. Let's just take another 3 full rounds of breath on the side, and you're welcome to expand out through your tree, maybe lifting your leg up higher if that feels good. Again, foot and leg hugging towards each other. So last full breath in. And exhale your breath completely. And then slowly bring your leg back. Just lower your foot down to the ground and then walk it out. Hoi. I can really feel that in my right ankle. Okay, let's switch sides. Okay, so just take a few moments again just to stabilize. Find that connection between your left foot and the ground. Okay, once you found that, feel the energy moving up the leg. So you're pushing down into the ground and then energetically lifting up, especially from the inner arch of your foot. Okay, and then you turn your right leg out to the side, so externally rotating it, and then bring your foot in towards you. Okay, from here, you're going to start to zip up as though you're zipping up jeans. Allow the mind to settle by focusing your gaze on something. Okay, and then start to hug it into your center. Again, tone your navel, again, continue to breathe. And then wherever your foot is, you're going to hug it into your leg in towards your foot. Feel as strong as a tree, so as though you're sending your roots down into the ground and then allowing your branches, yourself, your beautiful self to flourish. And just continue to breathe. Again, notice your center. Just stabilizing here. When you're ready, if you would like to grow your tree, you can expand your branches. You may even like to bring your right leg up a little bit higher. Just not placing it on the knee, but hugging your leg, your foot and your leg in towards each other. Okay, let's just take another full cycle of breath. To exhale your breath completely. And then slowly start to come out of the pose. So release your leg, bring your knee back to center, and then lower the foot down, and then just walk it out. Okay, let's come to a squat. So just taking your feet as wide as you need. You're going to take your hands onto your front thigh. Now lengthen your spine as your sit bones draw back. You can stay here if this is enough for you. Or maybe come down to your forearms onto your thighs. Your legs can be as wide as you need. Keep the spine long. Another option is to take your hands together and triceps on the inside of your thigh. And allow your spine to be long. So you're not rounding here and jamming down into your joints. Feel like you're lifting up out of the joints. Nice, easy breath. Listen to your body and let it be at a place where it's right for your body. Okay, we'll slowly come out of the pose. If you're standing more upright, then come up first before you come down. Otherwise, take your hands to the ground and then we'll come down onto your back. Okay, and then just give your knees a hug in towards your chest, and you may like to just circle your knees in one direction and then the other. And then just wrapping your arms all the way around your knees, maybe taking your nose towards your knee. And then just take your arms out to a T, legs to a tabletop position. Now you're going to give your thighs a squeeze in towards each other, and a block is an option here. You can place a block in between your legs or even your container. That will help just bring the awareness to the thighs. And then you're going to just lower your knees towards the right, just so the outer edge of the left hip comes up off the ground. So it's not a big movement, keeping those ribs down. And come back to center, squeeze the thighs, and then take it to the left. Just a gentle rotation here. Again to center, take it over to the right. Move with the breath, so it's the breath into center. Exhale towards the left. And let's do one more full round. So breathing in and breathing out. Last one. So exhale the breath. Inhale to center and then just release. And take your knees down. You may like to just windshield wiper your legs a couple of times to get a bit of release in those hips. And then just making your way into your Shavasana. So just settle into the pose, observing the sensations that you're experiencing. Noticing anything that may be presenting itself to you. Could be a sensation in the body, it may be a thought, could be a feeling. Just pay attention. Observing any subtle changes. Any slight shifts. And you're welcome to stay here as long as you choose. Whenever you're ready, you just make your way up to a seated position. And just taking your hands together at your heart center. Take a moment just to rise up tall within yourself. And draw your head down towards your heart and take a moment to acknowledge the time that you've spent honoring yourself today. And thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.